Hi Molly, it's Mrs. Jansen, and I'm so excited that you are joining me for lesson number 2. We are going to be working with shapes. Last time we worked with lines, and today we are going to be working with all different kinds of shapes to make birds. So this is a project that my son, this is the one he made way back in the day when he was in kindergarten. He is in high school now. So anyways, we are going to be making with our shapes 3 birds, and you're going to put them on a wire. All right, so we're going to work on that today. So in order to do that, the supplies that you will need are the baggie of lots of little construction pieces of paper that we are going to use to make the shapes for your birds. You should have picked this up from school. You're going to need the long strip of black paper that should have come in your pack, the long rectangle of blue that should have come in your pack. You are going to need a paper towel to wipe your finger on, a lid of some sort where we can put the glue. You could put this on a paper plate, or this is a lid of a pickles can, but you could use any plastic plate that your parents will let you. You're going to need some Elmer's glue, and this is the last one. This is very important, a scissors. Today, we are going to be talking about 4 main shapes. We're going to be talking about circles, that's the head and the eyes and the little eyes, the pupils. We're going to be talking about triangles, which will be for our beak and our wings. We're going to be talking about ovals, which are the basic shape of the body of the bird. We're going to be talking about ovals for the inside of the bird's belly, and we're going to talk about rectangles. These are all of these shapes we are going to make together. To do that, we have to cut out all of our shapes. So the first thing I want you to do is to open up your pack of paper, and I want you to take out, there should be some dark blue squares, okay? You probably have 4 in there, but we're only going to use 3 of them. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to be cutting out circles, and we're going to learn how to cut out a circle from a square. So I want you to watch me cut this out first, and then we'll do one together. Easy way of cutting out a circle, because circles are kind of hard to cut out by themselves. What we do first is we cut off the corners of each of the 4 corners of the square. See how I've gotten, so I have 2 of them off, 3 of them off, and then the 4th one. Okay, so you can see that it's no longer a square, but it still has these little pointy edges. So what we're going to do is we're just going to nip off those little corners. So we just cut those right off. Cut that off. And that one. So you can already see how different it looks. Okay? This has got a rounded edge, and these just have those the corners we cut off. So now we're going to round these off. And you just take off a little bit of that pointy part. You just cut it off. And there you have it. Now we have a circle that we will use for the head of our bird. We're going to do 3 birds, so we need 3 of these. What I want you to do is I want you to take your paper, okay, and I want you to grab your scissors And if you need help remembering how to hold your scissors, you want 3 fingers in the long opening, and you want your thumb, which is going to control the top part of the scissors, in that smaller one. Okay, you're going to use those. So we're going to do our square. First thing we're going to do, now this time I want you to do it with me, okay? So you're going to cut off the corners, the 4 corners of the square, so you can see. You have to rotate it in your hand. I'm going to cut that off and cut that off. Now, if I'm done before you, pause the video, okay? Until you get to this point where you've taken off all of the corners. All right. Next, we're going to cut off the little edges, just these little ones, like this. Take those off, those little sharp corners off. And there we have it. We have our circle. Now I want you to do this with your last circle. We need 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you need to rewind this video, or if you can remember, you can go ahead and cut your last one. All right, and then come back to the video as soon as you have 3 of them done. Okay, the next thing you're going to get from your bag are going to be 3 of the rectangles. The rectangles have 2 sides that are longer and 2 sides that are shorter. Okay, so we are going to be cutting out ovals. So I want you to see, this is an oval we cut out. Ovals are longer and rounded. Circles are smaller and even. So we're going to be cutting out ovals. So we're going to do it a lot like what we just did with our squares that we turned into circles. You're going to cut off the corners like this. Now, you can do this with me because we've already kind of done this, or you can watch me do this first and then you can go back and rewind it and do it with me after you've watched. So here we have all of our corners cut off, but we still have these sharp little edges. We're just gonna trim those down just a little bit. And if you look at my paper, you can see how small the pieces are that we cut off, okay? And you're gonna do that all the way around. Now, we want our birds to be different sizes. And when I look at this, I'm gonna compare it. This one's pretty big, so I might have to cut mine down. There we go. So let's try this again. So we're going to, and then we're going to do what we did with the squares. Cut off the corners. Like that. So you can see what it looks like. And then we're going to trim those little pointy edges. Okay, so it should look like that. I want you to go ahead and work on your next one as well. Okay, so we've got 2. We're going to have heads, right? And now I'm going to do the 3rd one. And we'll do it the same way. We're going to go ahead and cut off our corners. And then we're going to trim off the sharp little corners of our rectangle. And there we have it. So we've got 3 bodies, 3 heads. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to get out are the other 3. Actually, I might have an extra one in there in case you make a mistake. We're gonna work with these 3 rectangles. We're gonna make these into triangles. Triangles have 3 points instead of the 4 that rectangles have and squares have. We're going to be using our triangles for the wings. I'm going to bring that up close so you can see all the triangles for these wings over here. So that's what we're going to cut next. So this is a little bit tricky, so I want you to watch. I'm going to cut from this corner all the way to this corner. Okay, so set your scissors down and I want you to go ahead and watch me do this first. So I go from one corner to the next and see what happens. I end up with 2 triangles. So I want you to go ahead and cut diagonal across your paper if you haven't already done that. We're going to set these aside. We're just going to go ahead and do it again. Okay, so we got some triangles. We're going to do it one more time. Triangles. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, we'll do some more ovals for the belly. So you're going to grab out of your bag, you have 3 rectangles, and we're going to do what we've been doing with all the other ones. We're going to cut off the corners and you're going to trim the little spikes. And you can go ahead and do this with me. You can pause the video. You can do all of them and then start the video. I'll do one more with you. We want to make, these are going to go on the inside of our bodies of our birds. And then I'm going to take my corners and then trim off the sharp edges. Okay, so we have that belly, and then we have, you want to finish that with your last one. All right. Next, we need to cut out the circles for the eyes. We're going to need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles. You're going to take out your white, I have the exact amount. So you're going to take out your white squares. And we're going to do what we did before. You're going to cut off the corners. Okay, so you can see what that looks like compared to these. And then you're going to trim those little sharp edges off, okay? All right. Now I held 2 pieces of paper together. You can do that if you would like, or you can do them one at a time. I want you to pause the video and cut out all the rest of your eyes. Now I will do it one more time with you, but if you if this is too fast, Molly, just take a break, okay? Pause the video and work at your pace. You don't have to rush. Okay, so before we start gluing, because all of our rest of our bird parts are in here, and they don't have to be cut, they're already cut. So before we start gluing, we are going to need to put some glue into our lid. Now this is really important. You want to put a little bit in here, and the way we're going to glue it on our paper is we're going to use our finger, and we're going to dip it in the glue. Now, if your finger gets too much, you can always wipe it on that paper towel if it starts getting too sticky. So I want you to go ahead, open up your glue, and put some on. Okay, so we've got our glue to the side. The first thing we're going to do is take our strip, and we're going to put it across our paper. Okay, so we don't want to put it way up here because then the birds won't fit. So you want to put it close to the bottom, but you still want some space. So you're going to get a little bit of that glue and rub it on your black paper, okay? I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm just going to press it down. And it's okay if there's a little bit of glue on here. That's okay. Then we're going to decide where we want to put our bird bodies. Now these are really close, but you might decide you want to put 2 birds over here, 1 bird over here, or you can put 3 of them together. That's up to you. I think I'm going to divide mine up a little bit like that. So again, we're going to flip them over. You're going to smear some glue on the back like that. And I'm going to leave room for their little legs to fit on here. So 1, 2, this bird's going to kind of be in front of that one. I'm going to have them overlap. 3 bird bodies. Next, we're going to add our bellies. So you're going to put a little glue. You're going to put the belly on the birds. Stick them in there. This one I had to scoot underneath the one I had in front of it. Remember, dip your fingers. On there. So I've got that bird. So Molly, do you know what we'll put on next? What do our birds need next? They need some heads. So we're going to do exactly what we were doing before and add our heads. Okay. Put those on. Okay, so I want you to see, now we need, since we're working on their heads, we'll add their eyes next. Each bird needs 2 eyes. And again, you just keep sticking your finger in the glue. It's just one finger. Now, I have a lot of glue, I don't know if you can see on here, so I'm just going to take my paper and smear it on, and then we'll just stick them on. And I've got a lot of glue on my finger. I'm going to stick that, do that again with the paper, and stick that on. And then, uh-oh, I'm missing an eye. That might happen. Then you just cut out another one. And so I've got add glue to the third eye. Okay, so now we have our wings. Your wings can go on this way or they can go on this way. You choose, but each bird needs, now we're going to add the wings. So each bird needs to have 2 wings. I'm going to add glue. I'm going to stick that on. I'm going to put that in with a little bit of glue. That wing is going to kind of be covering up the bird behind it. Get a little glue. And again, I'll smear that on 2 of them. Maybe I'll put it on that side. We'll put that down. Okay, then you want to open up your bag. And we need to put on the legs. Let's look at our picture again. The legs, the beak, and the pupils. So you can dump out the rest of those, Molly, out of your bag. Now I've got glue on my finger, so I'm going to use that gluey finger. I'm going to stick that on. I'm going to stick those on there. I'm going to get all of those. All right, then you want to find the triangles. I have some extra ones in there, so you can choose what size you want. You can try it out if you want and see which sizes fit. Got a little mini one there. I might just do that. So you're going to take your finger, dip it in the glue again, stick on the beak, and the last one. All right, so we're almost done. Can you see what we're missing? We're missing our little rectangle legs. Each bird has 2. 1, 2. And then 2 here and 2 here. So you're going to want to grab one of these little rectangles, kind of like sticks, and put glue on the back with your finger and give each bird 2 rectangle legs. Put a little glue on. This bird is kind of standing on the wire. This bird is kind of sitting on it, I think. And I've got 2 more to go. And last, I'm going to smear off any extra glue I have on the little pieces of paper. Now, your finger is probably really sticky. You can let it dry and peel it off, or you can get it wet. I'm sticking it in a little glass of water, and then I'm rubbing it on that piece of paper towel. So we're almost done. I have some extra pieces here, so we'll leave those to the side. Our birds of different shapes, circles, ovals, triangles, and rectangles are looking really cute. If you look at the example piece, the one thing we're missing is our name. So this one says Rowan because that was my son's name. If you need help writing your name, ask your mom, but I want you to go ahead, put your name in the corner. With a Sharpie. And now you're finished. Molly, please post your picture on Seesaw. I cannot wait to see your bird collage all finished. If you have any questions, let me know and have a great day.